very good evening and welcome to the Chama. I'm Grace and Salami. Before we introduce the topic, let's talk to the rest of the team.
I finally thought of somewhere. I'm Kamal Kaur. I present at East FM and you can listen to me every day 1 to 4, Monday to Friday. Thank you. I think Jasmine's going to be very happy. East FM.
That's called a plug-in.
106.3.
Good job.
Okay.
Now that we've
moving right along, yes.
I'm Valentine Joroge and I'm excited about tonight's topic because this is my area of expertise.
Fantastic.
Okay, I'm Sean Bartley. I do marketing and strategy, and I'll have a coffee with you if you're not listening to East FM, okay?
All right,
You need the puncher.
I'm a mother. No violence.
No violence. Let's go straight into it. Tonight we're having a rather necessary conversation about an ad that was recently pulled off air because of the controversy it has brewed since. Let's have a look at the ad first.
Mama Michelle, habari yako? Na habari ya baba Michelle.
Unauliza, Priska, nimechoka. Jana baba Michelle alikuja amelewa hata hajielewi. Yaani kwake imekuwa ni kwa baa.
Habari ya yule mwingine. Mbugua.
Mzee anaweza kuwa hayuko kila wakati. Lakini sio kumaanisha kuwa mimi sina raha, mbugua amenitosha. Na tumejuana kwa muda mrefu sasa. Tunapendana sana.
Na huwa mnatumia kondom? Najua mnapendana, lakini ujue kuna magonjwa huko nje. Kwa hivyo ujichunge wewe na uchunge wale unawapenda. Chunga familia yako. Usisahau kuweka kondom kwenye hiyo mpango. Sawa?
Chochote umeamua, wakinge unaowapenda. Weka kondom mpangoni.
All right, welcome back. The ad does say weka kondom pangoni. I think that's been the issue here. This is within the confines of marriage, and the ad, I guess, is sort of suggesting or hinting to women that if you're not satisfied at home, you have other options. Just be careful about it. What do you think about that suggestion or hint?
I don't think the ad is suggesting that. The ad is facing up to what is already happening and we don't want to face up to it.
So it's a reality, but we are being hypocrites and saying...
Yeah, we're being hypocrites. I mean, what makes you think these things don't happen? Why would somebody come up with an advert and say, guys, look, it's somebody who's thinking about all this and has decided, okay, you know, you guys can't live with your heads in the sand forever. You have to talk about it. It has to be talked about. Be safe. Be safe. You're going to do it. Be safe.
Okay.
The thing is, the high-risk groups when it comes to HIV infection are married women.
That's true.
And so by extension, married men. Prostitutes and truck drivers, bar hostesses, all these other people are being spoken to apart from couples.
That's true.
So somebody needs to speak to them. If you're in a committed relationship and you are being faithful, then for you and your lifestyle, the ad is irrelevant. But for the people wwho are cheating, the ad is very relevant. And it's a conversation that needs to happen. The previous ads that were saying Mpango Wakando and all of that, with Jimmy Gathu's voice, were pretty much ineffectual. That like the people who did it then did their research and they're like, okay, fine, this didn't work. Let's try something else. And that's why you're seeing this. This, if you ask me, has been very effective. The best thing that could have happened to this ad is that it was banned because now we're all talking about it.
Exactly. I think it was very strategic. I agree with you. Very strategic.
Very effective. And I think everything in the ad is very well done. That woman, if you had to write out her life history, you would say, oh, she's in her 30s, she's married with 2 kids, she's saved, she goes to church.
You know?
You would not think from her locale and what she's wearing that she's a cheating woman. You know, but there she is looking like a little schoolgirl with a crush, all beaming and happy. She can't wait to see this guy. You know, I think that's what's disturbing. We don't want to think about women having that kind of joyous sex outside their homes, what it does to a family, what it can do to that man who's, you know, drunk and coming home late and all of that. And it raises all these questions, I think, in a very good way.
So you like the fact that the ad was honest, Sean?
Yeah.
I think it's sad that we would ban a commercial that to me is mild during a time when we have an epidemic. We have an epidemic. 50,000 people approximately will contract HIV this year. That's 136 today.
Actually, according to the Sunday Nation, Sean, 100,000 people contracted HIV last year.
So that's 272 yesterday who don't know they've got it. 272 are going to contract it today. So I
That
think
could wipe out a whole generation.
Whatever they're doing in the commercial, we should have 17 commercials a day. We should have commercials aimed at children, because you can talk to children, and people don't talk to children about condom use until it's too late, or they go, oh, somebody else will talk about it because I can't talk about it. No, we have to talk to our children. I talk to my nieces. They're very blah, and they're very hip about stuff, but the amount of stuff they don't know is frightening. So whatever you do, just keep bringing out commercials that frighten people and make our epidemic a reality, because that's what it is. And it's been here for 20 years, and nothing has worked so far.
Yeah. I agree. I like what you said about frightening people. So many, I mean, we saw the Jimmy Gathu ad, and it's always the men being told use a condom. It's about the men. But now we're actually seeing a woman.
There's never been an ad in Kenya that spoke to women about condom.
And that's why we're all up in arms.
Preventer, Raha, Trust, nobody has ever spoken to women directly.
Except Family Plan.
Even Family Plan was
horrible.
Yeah, whatever. Forget Family Plan. Let's move on. But I think it's really necessary to tell women, yes, use a condom. I think we should take it a step further and say this is how you open the pack, this is how you put it on. And I think we should also ask questions. What are people doing in their bedrooms? Because it's one thing to say use a condom. People use a condom the first time they have sex with each other. By the second and third time, even in that same sexual encounter within, say, a 24-hour period, they're not using condoms. So we say use condoms. We don't actually break it down and say, actually, you need it for oral sex. You need it for anal sex. You need it for regular intercourse, whatever we call it.
So clearly
intercourse.
Sex education is necessary.
Yes, and people do not want to have these conversations. I get so much backlash every time I mention something like anal sex in my column. People are like, oh my God, that is so unchristian. It's fine. If it's not for you, close the page, read Kamal's column. Thank you.
But I like what she brought out. I mean, if you're having sex, you might as well have this uncomfortable conversations and save yourself contracting HIV
I keep
or
saying
AIDS.
Sex is not for cowards. If you're uncomfortable with the conversation, you just
Don't
have another conversation and don't have sex. Because if you think the condom conversation is uncomfortable, telling somebody you're HIV positive,
Imagine that. Imagine
telling somebody you're pregnant with their child and you don't want them in your life, wow. I mean, like really, these are gonorrhea, syphilis.
I know.
I mean,
the list is endless.
If the condom thing scared you, please leave the sex thing alone.
And I like how the ad got out.
Saying sharing is caring? No, not sharing is caring. Use a condom.
I also like the other issues that the ad has brought out. I mean, the first thing the woman says, so she's asked, how's your family? How are you doing? She's like, oh, my husband came home drunk the other night. And you could see she's upset, she's frustrated. And I think that's also communicating to them. And this is a conversation that needs to be had. Women are tired of you being drunk. So that means you can't perform in bed. You're probably not working, so you're not even
responsible for the family emotionally, physically, and financially, and otherwise.
Exactly.
It can't be just one person doing everything. So yeah, she was
so condoms aside, this is a very huge conversation that needs to be the men need to hear and actually face the reality and discuss this. They really need to. So I like what they did with this ad. However, it has been pulled off air, and this has been, I guess, suggested by the church, and the National AIDS Control Council said, okay, let's pull it out for review. How else should they do it differently then?
I'll also point
or is it necessary?
Out
has it
even though I write about sex and I've been researching and writing on the subject for like 6 years now, the ad did make me slightly uncomfortable. But at the same time, the sex conversation makes us uncomfortable, and that is why, as a community, we have this issue. Right? In places where they're not so uncomfortable discussing sex, like if you look at the States, they were already discussing sex and STDs. HIV, AIDS was just another disease on the list because they had discussed syphilis with penicillin. Seriously, they had discussed gonorrhea. Herpes had been discussed as well in the 70s. You see what I mean? So HIV was then just something else on the list. We never discussed any of these things. HIV was just the shocker. So many people were dying. You're looking at your neck. We've all been affected by AIDS. We all have a relative who's died of AIDS.
Or known of somebody who has,
Right. There's a reason we're living like this. It's because we are uncomfortable. We'd rather just turn around
under the carpet.
Something else. Right. So of course it makes us uncomfortable. But like Shan is saying, it's necessary. That discomfort, we just need to get over it.
Indeed, we do. And to, I guess, take this conversation further, together. We take a short break and we come back with a pastor who will give us, of course, a view of the church and also just speak to us as a man on this issue. Stay tuned. All right.
Was that the first
That was
half?
a bit long.